All right, hello RSLE. We are doing the second half or the bottom half of your white sheet that we filled out yesterday. We're not doing all of these pieces. We didn't write all of them down, but we're going to write a few of them down. I did make your diagram go the opposite direction, so rather than my panes going down here, my interior like is going up. But I just want to do that so that we can identify which one the transversal is. Which one's the transversal? That one, right? This one. This is the transversal. On your homework assignment, part of it is transversal, is identifying which line is the transversal, okay? According to what angles you're looking at. All right, so I'm going to number them this way. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we have that one on. We're going to test your knowledge to see if you remember what these guys are. I don't have the assignment written down up here, by the way. I'll tell you what it is here in a minute. Okay. All right, and these lines are parallel lines. So notice that up here when we did these yesterday, those lines were not parallel. I wanted to do that on purpose, okay? These are lines that are parallel, and you will know that the lines are parallel because they will do this, okay? It's kind of like when you have like tick marks showing that they're congruent to each, like two pieces are congruent to each other. They will do those little arrows to show that they are parallel to each other. So that's how you will know without them having to tell you, okay? All right, so let's talk about vertical angles. Which angles are vertical angles on this diagram?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. 2 and 3, 1 and 4, 6 and 7, and 5 and 8. Yeah? Okay, now, the additional thing that I want you to write down is that if the lines are parallel, not like this, we still have some vertical angles going on, but if the lines are parallel, I guess this one doesn't really matter. No matter what. I should say that. Always pairs, P-A-I-R-S, are congruent. I'm getting ahead of myself. Always we have it that vertical angles are congruent. Okay, regardless of whether they're parallel or not, right? Like 2 and 3 will always be the same as each other. 1 and 4 will always be the same as each other, right? Okay, same thing with up here when they weren't parallel. 2 and 4 was still the same. 1 and 3 were still the same. 5 and 7, 6 and 8, those were all the same as each other, okay? All right, let's go to the next one, alternate interior. Do you remember which ones were alternate interior? If I'm looking at my transversal, this guy's my transversal. Alternate means on opposite sides of the transversal, okay? And interior, so like 4 would be alternate interior with 5. They're on opposite sides of the transversal. So one of them is on this side, one of them is on this side, alternate. And then interior means they're on the inside of the pane, right? So 4 and 5, and what's the other pair? 6 and what? 3. 6 and 3. 4 and 5 and 6 and 3. Those are alternate interior. Let me get my 4 and 5, 6 and 3. Those are alternate. Okay, now the fancy thing about these is that if the lines are parallel, what can we say about 4 and 5 and 6 and 3? Like these two angles. They are. Look at that. Look at the angle between them. Like angle 4 is an acute angle. Angle 5 is an acute angle. They are going to be the same measure. So 4 and 5 are the same. Okay? So if the lines are parallel, they are congruent. Those guys will be the same measure. All right? As long as the lines are parallel. Now let me go up to the other diagram. Alternate interior, like this angle 8 and this angle 2. Those are alternate interior. Are angle 2 and angle 8 the same measure? In my other diagram, this is the one above. No. Right? Angle 2 looks like an obtuse angle. Angle 8 looks like he might be 90 degrees. Okay? They are not parallel to each other, so that is not the case. Now, they're still alternate interior angles, right? But they're not the same measure. All right, let's go down to this one. Alternate exterior. Let's give the angle pairs for that one. Alternate exterior. Whoop. Let me erase some things. Yep. I heard Delaney say it. 2 and 7 and 8 and 1. 2 and 7, 8 and 1. They're alternate. They're on opposite sides. 2 and 7, this guy. Opposite sides, but on the outside of your like train track right here that you've got going on. Okay. Now, what's true about 2 and 7? You think that's special with parallel lines? Yeah, they will be congruent as well, right? 2 and 7 will be equal in measure. So as long as the lines are parallel, if they are parallel, they are congruent. Okay, as long as they're parallel, the alternate exterior ones are congruent. All right, now we're gonna get to something a little different. Now we're talking about consecutive. Have you heard the word consecutive before? Where they say like consecutive numbers. Give me some consecutive numbers. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 11 and 12. Consecutive means right next to each other, right? One right after the other.
1,350.
You are silly. All right, so consecutive interior means in the inside. I'm talking about interior angles, so I'm talking about those guys. Which ones are consecutive?
3 and 4.
No.
4 and 5. 5 and 6.
No.
4 and 6.
4 and 6. Blah. They're on the same side of the transversal.
They're not consecutive.
Yes, they are. They're on the same side of the transversal, is what we're getting at with consecutive. Same side of transversal. So 4 and 6 are the same side, and then 3 and 5 are another pair, right? So 4 and 6, and 3 and 5. Okay, those are consecutive interior. Now, if we're looking at 4 and 6 specifically, if these lines are parallel, are 4 and 6 congruent? No. Shh. 4 is an acute angle, 6 is an obtuse angle. So then what's special about 4 and 6? They're not a linear pair, but they're the same, they are supplementary, right? Yeah. So they don't live together I mean, like, they're not, yeah. They're supplementary, so 4 and 6 are gonna add up to be 180. So as long as the lines are parallel, if parallel, then supplementary. Okay, if parallel, then consecutive interior or supplementary. All right, now let's do consecutive exterior, which means they're the same side of the transversal, but exterior on the outside. So give me a pair. What?
2 and 8.
2 and 8.
1 and 7.
2 and 8, and then 1 and 7. Okay, perfect. 2, 8, 1, 7. 2 and 8, 1 and 7. All right, now 2 and 8, are they the same measure? No. What are they? They're supplementary as well. Okay, so if they're parallel, then they're supplementary. Those consecutive exterior are going to be supplementary. Okay, the last one is corresponding. Okay, corresponding is like the same corner of the intersection. So if, like, let's say this guy is north and this guy is south and this guy is west and this guy is east, right? Who is in the southeast corner? Southeast corner.
Why did you put 8? Oh wait, no, that's right.
That's right. Who's in the southeast corner?
8.
8 and
4.
4. According to their intersection, they're both in the southeast corner. Do you see that? Right? If that's the way that we're looking at it, if these are roads, right? North, south, east, west. 4 and 8 are both in the same corner. So 4 and 8 are corresponding.
So like would 1 and 5?
You betcha. So let's do the other ones. Are 1 and 5? Yes. What else?
2 and 6.
3 and 7? 2 and 6. Okay, those are all corresponding. So we have 4 sets of corresponding angles, right? All right, now let's talk about these corresponding angles. So let's go back to 4 and 8. 4 and 8. What's true about 4 and 8? They will be congruent as well. Okay? So, if the lines are parallel, then they are congruent. As long as the lines are parallel. P-A-R-A-L-L-E-O. Okay, now let me go back up to the beginning diagram. The ones that are corresponding there are like angle 3 and angle 7. If the lines are not parallel, are they the same measure? No, only if they are parallel. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. I'm going to go to this list. If I give you one of these angles, let's say angle 2 is 120 degrees, can you find all of the rest of them? Yes, let's figure out what all the rest of them are. So what's angle 1 going to be? 60, because those two add up to be 180, right? What's angle 3? 120, because these add up to be 180, or they're vertical angles, right? What's angle 4? 60, let me write this down. 60, 120. Okay, now, how do I go from that intersection to the other one?
If 2 and 6 are the same.
If 2 and 6 are the same, okay, so let's pick on 2 and 6. Those are corresponding. We just said corresponding angles are the same. So if 2 is 120, 6 is 120.
Parallel, so they're almost.
Yeah, so then this is 120, this is 60, this is 60. I have one angle and I can figure out all the rest of the 7 as long as the lines are parallel, right? Okay. Now, looking at this is pretty simple because you only have 2 angles, right? You only have 2 different angles. And if I ask you questions on this, you either can have, like you only have 2 options. You have a 50-50 shot. Either the angles are equal to each other or the angles add up to be 180. One or the other. Just pick one, right? Like you have a 50-50 shot of getting it right, okay? So either the angles are equal or the angles add up to be 180. That's it, okay? Go to the notes. We're gonna breeze over this real quick. There's a couple things and they're gonna give us some examples. We are on page, let me find where it is. Yeah. Right here. Page 207 is where we are. Okay? All right. So, example 1. They talk about parallel versus skew. You guys know what parallel is? This is parallel. This is parallel. This is parallel. This is parallel. All of those are parallel. Okay? Skew lines are lines that do not intersect but are not parallel. So how does that even work? Like, I thought if you had 2 lines that don't intersect but are not parallel, they're going to intersect at some point, right?
They have a point at the end of them before they intersect.
No.
Okay.
They're lines that go on forever. Skew lines. Here's how you think of skew lines. Don't think of it as like on one flat surface like they are over here. Skew lines are like in 3D space, right? So like let's talk about like this guy right here. This is like the corner at the top of a room, right? And then like this is the baseboard of the room. Are those going to intersect each other? No, like in 3D space they'll be like this, right? Okay? Those are not going to intersect each other, but they're not parallel either, right? So skew lines, that's how they work, right? They're in 3-dimensional space. So don't think 2D like over here. They're going to eventually intersect. But skew lines in 3D space are not going to intersect. Okay, so let's answer the questions. They're talking about skew lines. All right. They want to know all the lines that are skew to BC, which is this back guy right here. I want to know the skew ones. They have said AF, which is this one right here. They have said DE, which is this one right here. They have said FG, which is this guy. And they have said something else. EH, right?
What about AD?
EH. AD is not skew because AD will be parallel to BC. You see that? Good question.
Wait, so it only can be parallel if it's on the same plane?
It's only parallel if they're on the same plane. Yes.
Because theoretically, if there are lines that go on forever, right?
Yes.
So if there's a line right here and a line right here on different planes, on this one, like,
So, but like this, it doesn't matter if this one goes on forever this way and this one goes on forever this way. They're never going to touch each other. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah. So like if I have it like this, you betcha this one's going to be on that one. But this right here is on the same plane, right? Like I could put those down on a flat surface and it'd be
Well, what if you had a line going this way and a line going this way? On
like this,
different planes.
like this. So as long as like this one's in front of this one, they're not going to touch each other, right? But if it was on top of it, that would come down in it. And this would be on the same plane because they're only one surface right there. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, good question. All right, all lines. Let's go to the next one. All lines that are parallel to EH. EH. Which one's parallel to EH?
FG.
CD.
Oh.
AB. Those are lines that are parallel, right? What else? What's the one they're missing?
FG.
FG. Got it. These like are super easy. Like go through these faster. Okay. All planes that are parallel to DCH. DCH is this guy right here on the left side. Which plane is parallel to him?
AFG.
AFG. You only need 3 letters, so if we go AFG, that's fine. You could also call them ABG, right? Or GFA, or anything like that, right? Those are all meaning the same thing. Okay? So AFG, that'll work. All right? America's funniest. No, that's not right. What is it?
AFG.
What? AFE? No, what is it? AFB. There you go. AFB. All right. Okay. All right, we've got 2 lines and a transversal. These 2 lines are not parallel.
Home video.
Those two lines are not parallel. We'll go down to the next one. Let's answer some questions. We're gonna skip over this because you already have this written down. Go to example 2, classifying the angle pair relationships. These are really fast. Okay? It says classify the relationships. So they first give us angle 4 and angle 5. This guy here and this guy here. These lines are not parallel, but it doesn't matter. What are 4 and 5 in relationship?
Alternate?
They're alternate?
Interior.
They are alternate interior. You betcha. Do you see how that works? Okay? And you can abbreviate ALT-INT. That's perfectly fine. Okay, 3 and 7. What are 3 and 7? Ooh. Okay, now, if you are stuck, I always look for interior, exterior. Is 3 interior or exterior? Interior. 7 interior or exterior?
7's exterior.
Exterior. The only combination where you have one interior and one exterior is corresponding. They're in the same corner of the intersection. Doesn't matter that they're not parallel. 3 and 7 are corresponding. So if you just want to put CORR, that is totally fine. 3 and 5. They're both interior, right? So it's going to be something interior. What are they? Consecutive, because on the same side of the transversal. Are we getting this? Consecutive interior. Okay, and let's do 1 and 8.
Alternate exterior.
1 and 8, Matthew says alternate exterior. Is he right?
Yes.
Yep. Alternate exterior. Perfect. Okay. All right, next one. This is going to be kind of like your homework assignment. Oh, I got to erase. I forgot to erase this
What,
one.
homework?
You got homework. Of course you do.
Yes, Remy.
Okay. All right, now look at the diagram. We have 4 lines going on here, okay? And they're going to ask me which lines are the transversals. So this is line D that goes through here, right? This is line E that goes like this. Line G and line F. Got it? D, E, G, F. Okay, now it says, tell me which transversal connects angle 1 and angle 8. Let's find angle 1 and 8. Angle 1, angle 8. Which one is the transversal there? F. It's the one that touches both of them. Do you see that? Like line F. Okay? Line F. All right. Now, if that's the case, what is 1 and 8 in relationship to each other? They are corresponding. They're both in the same corner. Corresponding. Okay? All right, the next one, 3 and 6. 3 is here, 6 is here. Which one is touching both of them? G is the transversal, so that's where he is. Okay, what is 3 and 6 in relationship? Alternate exterior, right? They're outside of the pane.
Yeah.
Alternate exterior, okay. All right, last one, 6 and 7. I gotta erase. 6 is here, 7 is here. Which one touches both of them? E. And what are 6 and 7? Consecutive. Interior. Consecutive interior. Got it? Perfect. All right. Now they're going to move on and say, we're talking about parallel lines. So not just any old weird lines like these guys. We're going to talk about parallel lines. And they're going to have us solve for some things. Okay? So let's go to, here we go. Use theorems about parallel lines. We're skipping to example 4. They just want us to find the measure of angle 7 if angle 1 is 42. Angle 1 right here is 42. These lines are parallel.
42.
They want us to find angle 7.
42.
What are angle 4 and angle 1 and angle 7?
42.
What are they?
Alternate exterior.
They're alternate exterior, and alternate exterior are congruent, so angle 7 is 42. Got it? Not so bad. Let's go to example 5. This is the last one. Woo! Flying right along. Okay, example 5, we gotta solve for some stuff, okay? This diagram is what we're using. Do we know that those two lines are parallel?
Yes.
How do we know?
Because the red little.
You see the red little arrows? That means they're parallel, okay? All right, so let's label some stuff. They want us to find x if angle 3 is 4x plus 7. That's what he is. And angle 6 is 5x minus 13. Okay, so angle 3 is this guy, angle 6 is this guy. You have 2 options, and that is all. Either they're equal to each other, or you add them together and they equal 180. That's all. That's it.
They're equal to each other.
They're equal to each other because these are alternate interior. Alternate interior. Okay, so I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I'm gonna do it over here. I don't like to do their work. 4x plus 7 equals 5x minus 13. Okay. I'm gonna subtract my 4x, and I'm gonna add my 13 over. 20 equals x. Done.
Plug it back in.
Do we have to plug it back in? What do they want you to find?
Oh, just fine.
Find x, so we're done. Huh, look at that. Okay, now,
Crazy.
If
listen to this really quick.
Crazy.
I think I know what your question is. B. If you plug 20 back in and you get the measure of angle 3 and angle 6, whatever. Once you skip to part B, that no longer applies. It's a new problem. You see how this works? So angle 3 is no longer 4x plus 7 and 5x minus 13. You don't carry this information down when you do part B. That no longer applies to part B. Part B, you start from scratch again. Does that make sense? So you're only given this information. We don't also have this stuff. So don't try to confuse yourself. Okay? So now we want to find, did that answer your question or was that not your question? That was your question. Okay, B says they want us to find y, and 8 is 68 degrees. And 3 is 3y minus 2. Right? Okay. How do I go from 3 to 8? I don't have an angle pair that goes from 3 to 8.
They're supplementary.
How do you know they're supplementary?
Because if the lines are parallel,
Right.
8 can take the spot of 4.
Yeah.
I don't know.
8 can take the spot of 4. What are 8 and 4? They're congruent, but how do you know? They are
Corresponding.
corresponding. So that's 68, right? So I know that they're not equal to each other. These two add up to be 180, right? Okay, so I have 3y minus 2 plus 68 gives me 180. Okay, this is 66. Let's subtract the 66. 3y equals, that is 114.
What?
Yeah, 114?
No, 112.
No, you're subtracting 66.
Why are we-
Because you have minus 2 right here.
Because minus
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah? Okay. We just added those together first. Divide by 3 and you get 38. Is that true? Y is 38. There you go. Okay, now they did not go from 8 to 4. They went from 8 to 5, right? They said instead, okay, let's ignore the 4. Let's not go 8 to 4. Let's go 8 to 5 and say that 5 is 68 degrees. Now are these two still supplementary? Yeah. Okay, so you can bounce all the way around however you want to. Got it? Homework. 2 through 36 evens. Holy crap.
I'm sorry.
What?
That means
It's a lot.
They're super fast though. They're super fast. Like a lot of them are like, what kind of angles are these? Find the measure of this guy. They're super fast. So that is a lot, but they're super fast. Okay? Alright. Done. Goodbye, RSLE.